Hey friends, it's Dana. It is what afternoon is it? Tuesday. And I am following up on the question that I think it was Melanie asked about the dog food diet. And so I don't know what my dogs are barking at. I started feeding the Volhard natural diet about 2 years ago to my dogs. I had wanted to feed it prior to that and kept thinking I can't afford it. And I finally sat down one afternoon and did the math. Ooh, nice hair. Did the math to figure out how much that food was going to cost per meal and what I was already feeding per meal. And then what could I offset in costs? And so it really netted out to a few cents per meal more. And I don't mean like $1 more. I just mean a few cents. And I don't even know where my calculation of that is, but I'm happy to help you guys sort of think through that. But with the Volhard diet, it is a raw meat. So we use the 80-20 hamburger. And then this mix that you ordered from Volhard Dog Nutrition, that is everything else you need nutrient-wise. And you mix the two together with some warm water and feed it to the dog, and they're as happy as clams. For me, feeding better food meant less baths, less flea and tick medication. I currently don't use flea and tick medication on my dogs. It offset cost of other expenses. Some of them are not seen in the moment, but perhaps in the future, like the cost of teeth cleaning, and ideally the cost reduction of more serious medical issues. So the Volhard diet is not 100% grain-free, and that panics a lot of people, but it actually has oatmeal, rolled oats in it. So it is a digestible thing that works for the animals really well. But it's got other ingredients like blackstrap molasses, which is a good source of vitamin B. I was going to tell you a little bit more about that, and I've probably lost my page here. It's got the oils and the fats that it needs in it. And then when you add in the 80-20 hamburger, it is truly considered a balanced diet. And so for most dogs, no other supplement, no digestive enzymes would be necessary. None of that stuff, because it's already all in there. I mean, there's even, apple cider vinegar added to the diet. There is vitamin B, like I said, vitamin C, folic acid, honey. So again, balanced diet that probably 95% of the animals on the planet can manage extremely well. They are learning and studying more about nutrients. And there are some dogs, and Wendy's known this. So Wendy Volhard's a real person. I've met her. She does this work and this testing with a scientist in a production company. Her product is not commercially marketed, meaning there are no big ads running at this time. But she's been using this on her own dogs, doing the blood tests for them. Other people in the program are being tested and, validating the quality of this product and the health of the animals. That's the key. And then as she began to start distributing this product, the company that she uses is testing the quality of this product 3 times. It's tested 3 times before it is ever final packaged and sent to you. So I have a great deal of trust in the company, the product, and Wendy herself. I've met her personally. I've seen her speak multiple times before I actually went to her workshop, and there's a picture of me on I think it's on my dog training page. I don't remember. Maybe I'll post it here, but of Poppy being fed by Wendy Volhard while Wendy was making up a concoction at the workshop. So for a lot of dogs, we are seeing that changing their food to a raw diet is really helping them in the health space. So skin issues are starting to be strongly diminished. Allergens to specific foods starting to be diminished. I've seen a lot of crazy good results just shifting the quality of food and the type of food. When I had my Great Dane, we knew he was quote unquote allergic to poultry. So he was on a fish diet. He ate, well, frankly, at that time we ate Costco, which was the equivalent of Taste of the Wild, and he ate a salmon-based food. It was salmon and sweet potato. And he did well on that, except he died at 6.5 years old, right? My Dane prior to that, he also was young. He was about 6 when he passed with dilated cardiomyopathy. And if you saw a post that I made recently, we're now hearing that there's a taurine deficiency that can happen with dogs who are only ever fed kibble. And I'll be candid with you guys, back in that day, I wasn't feeding the best of dog foods. Didn't know what I didn't know. And at that time, I'll just be even more transparent. At that time, when people said, oh, your dog needs to eat grain-free, or, oh, your dog needs to have fish oil, or, oh, your dog needs to have whatever, I was one of those people that did what somebody else said. Why? Because somebody told me to, not because I knew that it was the right thing for my dog or the circumstance, and I didn't necessarily look at the whole picture. I could kick myself in the ass for doing that. So now I do better. Now that I know better, I do better. And my job and my goal is to help educate all of you as much as I can. I see people to this day, like to this minute, in a lot of different groups who, somebody will say, I have such and such scenario. And it's like 2 sentences. So it can't be the complete scenario, but it's just like a highlight. And 52 people will respond with, you need to do this. And those might all be somewhat different. Well, which one do you do? I mean, we all have to do our research, and we all have to sort this out and figure out what we're up to. But, I'm trying to help sort through some of that. I'm not a veterinarian. I am not a vet nutritionist. I have been certified now in aromatherapy, but for animals. But, we all still got to do our own research. We got to take information and dig a little deeper and figure out, is it the right thing for your animal? And does it fit the whole picture, right? So, if somebody says, oh, a taurine deficiency has been contributed to dilated cardiomyopathy or whatever cardiovascular issue, do you just run out and add taurine? Not necessarily. You might be getting enough depending on the diet that you're feeding. And I know that in the Volhard nutrition, all those nutrients are balanced, right? So where I was headed with the poultry allergy for my Dane, we know now, and I've learned this over time, and I've had a lot of conversation with folks like Wendy and other people who are doing this nutritional work, that a dog who shows an allergen in poultry, for example, in kibble, may not have the same allergen response when fed a raw diet. We also know that dogs that have only ever been fed kibble, right? They've kibble's all they've ever had. They will not make naturally the digestive enzymes that they need to break down raw diet foods. They won't have the digestive enzymes because their body stopped producing it because it didn't need to produce it for kibble. So we have to give dogs digestive enzymes when we shift them into a raw diet. The Volhard food does that. It's all in there. When we're dealing with dogs who have skin inflammation, for example, and all these flare-ups with these bright red skins and rashes and whatnot, there's a couple of factors associated with that. One is potentially their gut health. I shouldn't say potentially, their gut health. So people ask me all the time, what can I put on my dog? What can I bathe my dog in to address his skin issues? And the short answer is get rid of all that crap and start clean with a new diet, and then see what you need once we've started to clean up the internals. So skin issues, allergic response is often an immune deficiency or a vitamin deficiency or a mineral deficiency of some sort. So if you beef up gut health and the immunity in the body can respond to the things that it's exposed to better. But that's not to say we need to keep exposing them to crap. So this is when I come back and, you'll hear me talk about what's toxic in your environment. Some time ago, I went under the kitchen sink and pulled out everything that was there, and I mean everything, and threw it away. So the only cleaning product in my house now is Thieves Concentrate, Thieves Cleaner from Young Living. I was slower about pulling out other toxins. So like my shampoo and hairspray and all that, I waited till I ran out. And every time I ran out of something, I replaced it with a more natural Young Living product. Laundry soap. There are no more Scentsy candles in my house. There are no plug-ins. There are no fabric sprays that are not essential oil Young Living based. Why? Because everything that goes on my floor, so I'm looking at the dogs piled up here in the chair, everything that I spray on that chair, everything that's on the sheets and the covers of my bed from the laundry detergent, my dogs lay on. And their skin is their largest organ in the body, and they are absorbing that stuff through the pads of their feet and through their skin. So I really went all in with this eliminate the toxic load thing and making sure that my dogs were no longer going to be exposed to anything harmful. I can't undo what I did for the first, Howie's probably 14 years old now, but I've only had him maybe 6 years. So who knows what he was exposed to prior to that. But hey, I did the Scentsies and the plug-ins and the Glade and everything else. And so I can't undo that. I can detox him. And this is another thing. When you start shifting to better food and you start putting in better live biological, stuff into the body. So the veterinarian who teaches my aromatherapy class, she calls it biologically active essential oils, meaning they're not synthetic. They are real, authentic. They came from a live plant, were distilled with an intention of being a live constituent when it went into the bottle and staying a live constituent when we use it, which is why you hear me harp about quality of oils and oil-based products so much. I trust them. I trust where we are in that, and I trust the Wendy Volhard food. So where I was headed with that was when we start putting better stuff in, one of two things happens. Bad stuff starts being eliminated through the skin, through our waste management systems. So you could have a dog that reacts in some way, potentially a more harsh flare-up than they've had before, as stuff is being purged from the body. But you also may find that receptor sites in the body are stuck. They're jammed up and clogged up with all sorts of stuff, and we need to detox that body to help open those receptor sites up to receive better nutrients, right? So it's not a be-all, end-all for everybody or for every dog. Some things are going to work better for my dog than they work for yours, and vice versa. And we have to explore and figure that out. But I am very confident in the quality of food that I'm feeding my dog. And that's why I recommend it. I'm not going to put my name on something that I don't trust. But I also know that there is a small population of animals that this food won't work for. And so Wendy's now trying to tackle that next level of animals that can't tolerate any sort of grain. So remember, in Volhard diet, there is a rolled oats. So there's that kind of stuff that's in here. There's even some buckwheat in there, which is different, right? It's not like corn and whole wheat and all that kind of stuff that's being added to our dog's diet. And we know they can break it down. We know that the body can digest those things. So she's working on a gluten-free, truly grain-free, different line of product. One of my clients has a dog with mast cell tumors, and we decided that Volhard wasn't right for them, that they needed a more veggie-based. She's still using meat. Now, you'll hear some people say, with mast cell tumors, don't go raw. There's an entire group of people on Facebook who say, if your dog has mast cell tumors, don't feed raw. Why do you think that is? Because they've never fed it. It would be this sort of change into the only thing that dog's ever eaten is kibble. And so now you're going to throw a new, richer food, a different thing, and the dog's digestive enzyme doesn't break down raw food. You know, when you feed vegetables, if you're making a home prepared meal, you need to add digestive enzymes because your dog is not naturally going to digest vegetables. And those vegetables need to be blanched or steamed a little bit to help start breaking down that process, to help the digestive process begin. Otherwise, that's why you see like whole pieces of spinach rolling out the back end. So anyway, I'm a big fan of the Volhard food. You can even make the recipe at home, right? You don't have to order it prepackaged. You can make it yourself. I am a very lazy grocery shopper. And I am a very lazy cook. I don't hardly do it for me. My dogs eat better than I do nutritionally, and that's something that I'm working on. But if you're interested, I'll give you the information to go get that book and the recipes and to know all the ingredients and why those ingredients were chosen. But I'm seeing some big changes. And if we look at the videos from The Truth About Cancer, that pet series that Rodney Habib did, or even go on Netflix and look at the video Pet Fooled if you have access to that. I ordered a copy from Amazon. I would show it to you, but I don't think it's in here. I've even thought about playing it one night on here and letting you guys see it that way. So, and I'm going to be doing some presentations for locally and in Wilmington and in Pinehurst, where we're gonna have live presentation of those videos and then talk, answer people's questions. So big results are happening, big changes are happening in the wellness of our animals when we change to better diets, and when we start adding in these biologically active essential oils and oil-based supplements that feed the tissue and the organs and the joints and the components of the body that need these nutrients, that need these constituents that make them do better health. So I may have gotten off subject a little bit. I've been fired up today. I've been fired up about all the dogs that will not make it through Thanksgiving because of owner surrender issues. So anyway, take a look at a raw diet for your dog if you can. And if you think that it's not affordable, reconsider that and do the math, because I think you will find that, like me, for just a few cents more, you're going to be providing a whole lot better nutrition, which is a whole lot better health for our pets. And if I can help you, just reach out. We can schedule a consultation. We can, dig in deep with things that you may not have even considered as a factor in your dog's well-being and his behavior. Behavior's a big one, and people don't always recognize that it's what they're eating. So anyway, I'm a big fan of the Volhard diet, and Melanie, if I can help you, just reach out.